How to prevent a relapse. 4 main things I'm going to talk about. Number 1, develop a sober network. 2, don't isolate. 3, create a healthy balance. And 4, have a higher power. Google 5 secrets to avoid a relapse or 5 mistakes that lead to a relapse. There are several ways to establish strength and knowledge in sobriety that will protect you from a relapse, and even help you if a relapse does happen. So number 1, create a sober network. It's vitally important to have sober people in your life that care for you, know your story, and understand your struggles and your joys. You can build a strong sober network through 12-step meetings and step work with a sponsor, and also going to the meeting before the meeting and then staying for the meeting after the meeting. That's been my experience. If many times I see people that they say they're on the fringes, and these are the people that show up late for a meeting. They're on their phone during the meeting. They're going to the bathroom 3 times during the meeting, and then they leave early without saying anything to anybody at the end of the meeting. And to really get connected and to really start building your sober network, show up early. Say hi to a few people, grab some coffee, socialize, get names and numbers of a few people that are at the meeting. I mean, these are the people that want to be clean and sober. And so if you want to be clean and sober, get connected to some of these people, be of service, help clean up the room, connect with a few people after the meeting. If they're going to coffee, or if they are going to lunch or breakfast or something else, just get yourself involved. And there's actually, I was at a meeting this morning. There's a guy named Christopher. I've known Christopher for a long time. I saw him when he first came into the rooms and got clean and sober. And this was probably 8 years ago. And I haven't seen him for a while. I don't think I've seen him since COVID, actually. So it's been a couple years. And a few weeks ago, I saw him at a meeting, and he relapsed. And it was crazy because this is a guy that was doing the deal. This is a guy that was sponsoring people. He was going to meetings. He was walking the walk, from my perception anyways. And so here he is. I saw him this morning. He's over 100 days sober now, which is awesome. And he's worked the steps. He went back to treatment. He's worked the steps. He's going to meetings on a daily basis. He calls his sponsor every single day. And the other thing is that he's sponsoring guys right now. He said he has like 10 guys that he's sponsoring. And I mean, to me, 10 guys sounds like a lot. I don't think I could handle 10 guys, even 5 guys. But if I was early on, or when I was early on in my recovery, I mean, right now I have a lot going on in business and in my life. I don't think I could sponsor 5 guys. But hey, you know what? If I was close to a relapse and I wanted to stay sober, sponsoring 5 guys is a great way to create another layer of accountability. And every time you're taking somebody new through the steps, you're working the steps again yourself. And you're accountable to another man or another woman or another person, generally speaking. So for him, it was really interesting. I've got a couple of guys that I'm taking through the steps right now. And I've got one guy, he's actually at the Salvation Army, and he's on his 9th step. And I started thinking, man, I mean, getting this guy to sponsor a couple of people, even while he's still at the Salvation Army, it's hard for him because he is not able to make phone calls. It's very rigid. So maybe he can sponsor people that are at the Salvation Army with him. I have another sponsee that he picked up 2 sponsees a few weeks ago. And from my perspective, it's been the best thing for him to take on other guys. And he's realized that himself. Taking other guys on, sponsoring other guys, it creates a higher level of accountability. And I know that if I'm sponsoring people, if I'm sponsoring guys, that means I'm typically going to more meetings. They're calling me on a daily basis. Every single one of them is calling me every single day. So that's an opportunity for me to get outside of myself and help another person. So lots of reasons to sponsor other people. I would say that's a great way to continue building your sober network, creating people that rely upon you. Number 2, don't isolate. When you feel negative emotions such as fear, self-doubt, or self-pity creeping in, the best way to deal with them is to address them with someone who is strong in their recovery and can guide you to take the next right step. When I don't want to call my sponsor, I know that's when I need to call my sponsor. When I don't want to answer the phone, when I've got someone calling me, someone else that's in the program, someone else that's in recovery, when I don't want to answer the phone, I know that's when I need to answer the phone. When I don't want to go to a meeting, I know that's when I need to go to a meeting. I like to isolate, and lots of alcoholics and drug addicts, we like to isolate. And when I'm in a place where I don't want to talk to other people and I want to just be by myself, I know that's when I need to call and talk to somebody else. Tim needs to talk to somebody else besides Tim, because if I'm inside my own head, I can convince myself of anything. I can rationalize anything. I need to be around other people, and I need to share and express what I've got going on inside my head with other people. Next thing is healthy balance. Develop healthy habits such as self-care, prayer, meditation, and healing hobbies that create balance in your life and make the chance of being overstressed to the point of relapse less likely. Learn to avoid being hard on yourself when you make mistakes and grow from them instead. Find time every day to be in silence and clear your head of distractions, and do something regularly that causes you to feel productive or creative. For me, this is the biggest thing that I do to stay grounded and to keep my mind clear. And that's yoga, which I found yoga, or really any type of exercise, but yoga especially, I believe the principles of yoga are aligned with the principles of AA, aligned with the principles of a 12-step program. I love hiking. I love running. I love anything that I can do where I move my body and I get my endorphins going. Google Tim Westbrook, how to avoid a relapse. Secret number 1, avoiding triggering situations. And you can also Google Tim Westbrook, how to avoid a relapse. Secret number 5, make self-care a priority. Higher power. This idea is hard to swallow for many recovering alcoholics and addicts, but remember that your higher power is a force of your own understanding. And you just have to be willing to grow a relationship with something that is greater than yourself. Even if it is simply the fellowship of AA, even if it's the 12-step group, even if it's the universe, coming to believe that a power greater than yourself, there's somebody else or something else that's bigger than you. That's the main thing. And for me, before I got clean and sober, and I grew up a Christian and grew up in a Christian household, and my whole family, we were all Christian. But I got to a place where I didn't believe. I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in a higher power. I didn't believe in anything. And there were many reasons for that. I'm not going to go into it. But when I got clean and sober, I came to believe that there was a power greater than myself that could restore me to sanity. And as soon as I started believing in a higher power, there was a huge burden taken off of my shoulders, because I used to believe that I was going to make it happen. If it's going to happen, Tim's going to make it happen. I'm going to work hard, play hard. I'm going to make things happen. And it was overwhelming and stressful, and things never worked out exactly the way that I wanted them to work out. And if I just believe that, hey, all I need to do is the next right thing, and God, my higher power, whatever you want to call him, is going to take care of the rest. I mean, I'll tell you what, life's way easier. Life's way easier when I just need to do the next right thing, and I can pass everything else off to something greater than me. It's a beautiful thing. Once I got to that place, it brought a lot of joy and a lot of fulfillment to my life.